Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. It's Ricardo, the Liberty Coach, and I'm here again with another attempt to deliver the personal rites of passage. Wasn't working out for me yesterday. I was in a different environment, and sometimes when you're in a different environment, unexpected things can happen. And when they do, and it's not in your control, you stop and start again. So yes, Parenting Friday is on Saturday, but as a special, yesterday it was my birthday, and I did have a wonderful time with my children and a few friends, as we're able to, meet in very small groups. But I wanted to continue with the live. Yesterday I had done the blog on the personal rites of passage, and today it is the live in regards to that, just to go over some things and to answer any of your questions. So in the week, I had a parent who had contacted me who had some concerns regards to her daughter in year 7 who was complaining about boredom. And the parent was really concerned more about her child's mental well-being. But schools are still opened. So how the discussion went is schools are doing check-ins anyway, and the parent expressed her concerns for her child's mental health and well-being. Pastoral care came, followed up, and invited the young person back to school. She was really struggling with maths in terms of some of the work tasks she'd never covered. And it was like, go off, go research it yourself. So it was really, really challenging. And today, I'll only be half an hour, as I usually am, just to go through that with you. So if you had a chance to look at the blog, you would have seen that there were a couple of things that we covered on the personal rites of passage. What is that? What is the personal rites of passage? It is where we look at ourselves as individuals, look at our children, and help them to develop certain skills that will, one, help to increase their self-esteem. Putting the parent into one side for a moment. One of the main things that I do, working with the young people and the children in school, is to boost confidence and self-esteem. Isn't it better when you can allow yourself to help your child within your own family networks build your own children's self-esteem and their confidence to a level that when they go out into society, that they're able to function, be assertive, and be able to express themselves? And I'm not saying that if you have a child that is shy, there's anything wrong. There's not, because it's just their unique personal characteristics. But if we can help not just our children, but ourselves to build self-esteem, that's love for ourselves. We can generate that to enough, we would be able to generate love for others. Sometimes we love things that are external a lot more than what we love about ourselves inside. I'm inviting you to start with yourself and then have it extended out. So I'm going to run over a few of the tips that I wanted to share with you in the steps, and there's only 8 of them. So we'll start with step number 1. I'll read it to you and what it says. So the personal rites of passage. It says, life is a struggle from womb to the tomb. This struggle is further complicated by ethnicity, culture, and gender. The personal rites of passage is designed to break down stereotypes, showing us that there are more similarities between different ethnic cultures and spiritual groups, then there are differences. We can see that what's going on in the world, if you're switching on and listening to news or even on social media, you can see there are disparities across, but there are also similarities that we are not necessarily picking up on. And for children, how do you explain to them what is going on? We start with ourselves first. And this is why I wanted to share the tips with you live, so that we can kind of go through this short series of different rites of passage. There are 10 of them in total. And today we are starting off with the personal rites of passage. So here we go. Step 1. We've got help your child develop interdependence. And that is generating their self first, how their feelings about themselves. Like, it also to help with problem solving. Like, we would figure things out with ourselves, then we'll go out and external to ask parents, carers, teachers, etc. So step 1 is help your child develop interdependence. And we're focused on this section being high self-esteem. And that in itself is just love for ourselves, starting with us. It's the personal rights. That's the first place we need to be starting, is the love for ourselves. Then secondly, we have the high extended self-esteem, which is love for our families and communities. So it's not just the family that we're looking at the communities as well. This is strengthening families, strengthening communities. So we're extending it out, not just to mum, dad, auntie and uncle. We are also looking at neighbours. Now, if you want to talk about neighbours, sometimes some of us are blessed with neighbours. I even heard my cousin yesterday say, if her neighbours move, she's moving, because she's got good neighbours, yeah? Some of us have neighbours that we could describe to be a thorn in our side. It doesn't matter which way you turn, it's like painful just to hear them talk, painful just to hear the dog bark. It's just pure pain that you could be experiencing with some of your neighbours. But with self-esteem, we're talking about love, loving our communities. In some of the religious spectrums or spiritual spectrums, they would say about loving others. And I'm saying, like, being cordial, being polite, being friendly, looking out. Oh, I think someone might have hit your car or something like that. It's just showing demonstrations of kindness, but it is to help the community. Number 2 is to help your child recognize, understand, accept, appreciate, and use his or her unique gifts and talents. What is or are your children's unique gifts and talents? And be free to post in the comments below, whether during the recording or after in the replay. And if you are commenting in the replay, just put #replay with your comment there. So what is your child's unique gifts and talents? Do you know what they are? Have you recognized it from an earlier age and have been able to jump in and cultivate and nurture them? I'm going to give you just a quick example. For years, my daughter has always drawn. She's like little pictures, little character calls, and a lot of them were women, funnily enough. But she'd draw these little characters from when she was really little. We're going from the stick kind of figures, stick figures, And then we're moving on to, oh, this person has a shape. Then it's like this person has clothes on, has shoes on, and now she is doing her arts and she's doing fashion and her creativity is through the roof. I'm astonished by that. It is a gift that she had from as young as I can remember, being around the age of 2. And it was nurtured and it was gifted. And it's like, what do you want to be when you get older? Oh, I want to be a fashion designer. And then you help by encouraging that unique gift and that talent that your child would like to do in the future. So while in school, when they get to the stage of picking their GCSEs and what they want to do, this is where you can check for congruency if they want to still be doing the arts and the fashion. And she so happened to be doing that, and now happy to say that she's in university and it's passed. So really it pays, it really does pay to nurture your children's unique gifts and talents, because that could literally end up being their bread and butter later on. Hello, Carol. How are you doing? What's that? Hi. Yes, I'm good. I'm good. And I am safe. I'm sure that's what you were trying to say. I'm good. I am literally just covering the personal rites of passage, and I've literally just gone over the first 2. Yes, I did. I had a wonderful celebration. And even though it was like a lockdown birthday, I really was surrounded by love. I had such a fantastic time. It was wonderful. So, Carol, you have done this with me. It is on page 12. We're on page 12 from the parenting manual, and we're literally just going over the personal rites of passage. Number 1 was to help your child develop independence. Just covered that. And we're looking at self-esteem, and I'm literally just touching on where you just joined us in to help your child recognize, understand, accept, appreciate, and use his or her unique gifts and talents. This is where we are. So what is your child's unique gifts and talents, and how as parents can we best cultivate that? Number 3, step 3, we are help your child seek out positive role models, adults who will serve as mentors throughout their life. Is there anyone that you can think of at the top of your head that could be mentors for your children? I tell you what comes to mind. Oh, good. I'm glad you're okay, Carol. Godparents. How many of you have godparents, and how many of you have a consistent relationship with godparents with your children? Nice one. I have, my children have I have godparents. I see some and some I don't see. And same with my children. They have interactions with some, and some they haven't had interactions with them for near enough 10 years. So you would, that person that hasn't been there for 10 years, you wouldn't really consider them as a mentor for your children. But we always are saying things like, we need a village, you know, children need a village, people that they can go to. And you know, you've got grandparents, they are very crucial in a child's life. They've got many, many stories to tell, but it's somebody that can really help them throughout life. Recently, my daughter was saying that she wants to reach out to her godfather because he cooks jerk chicken really well. When I was telling her godmother this, the godmother said, is me that season up the chicken, so she should come to me. So either way, you know, your children can reach out to the village. Who is in your village? Who is in your circle of support? Who is it that can have a positive influence, someone that they can look up to. And this person may have culinary skills, they may have a skill in a particular trade, or just life experience that can help guide and nurture your children. And I think this is just really, really positive. For myself, I have been a single parent for the majority of my children's life, and therefore it was very important that we had positive aunties, uncles, grandparents on both sides, and that we had godparents that were going to be in their lives, whether their fathers are supporting or not. But they felt that they were someone that they could talk to if they needed to turn to someone and they didn't want to speak with me, that there were a network of people around. And even sometimes when I was barring out for help, I could access the village as well. So number 4, with the personal rites of passage, help your child make connections with adults who will love, advise, guide and direct his or her life. So number 3 and 4 are quite similar. One is a mentor and one is adults. And I literally just put everyone together in terms of grandparents, aunts, uncles. And you know what? There may be people at school. I've worked with many schools and they have great pastoral teams and support. And now that is being extended with the virtual services or a telephone call. Sometimes that is a really good thing, having a family worker who's going to just pick up the phone and find out how you are, especially as there has been very, very little interaction over the last several months, depending on the age or year group of your child and whether or not you are a key worker and whether they have been accessing school throughout or not. Either way, if we can have good, positive, loving adults that will advise them when they're misbehaving, you can call on them, because I've had to do that myself. Call on grandparents, aunties, uncles, and ones that say no, you say next, and you go to the one that's going to say yes. But someone that you trust and that you know that your children will be safe with the advice that they're going to be giving them. Number 5. Help your child create a vision for him or herself, family, and community. I love this. Creating the vision for your life on how you want things to be. Instead of having the experiences of misery, you can get to create the better, brighter future in your mind. Plan it, speak it, write it down, and live and experience, work towards it, follow after your own goal. And imagine you're doing that for your children. I heard what they said to me when they were young. They told, my daughter said she wants to be a fashion designer. She didn't say it today. She said that when she was really little. And when she was like 2, the socks, like the Bratz dolls, had clothes on. In her mind, she wanted to create her own thing. And she'd get socks. She'd get the socks. And the socks, the dolls were wrapped around these socks. And then I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's a new dress. That's a skirt. That's a top. It's socks. But in her mind, she saw something different. She created that for herself. And I just went with it and cultivated it. Yeah. Oh, did you? Oh, good. Explain to me what you did last night, because it's got to be in reference with what I just said. So we were literally just helping her to just cultivate that, and that's when the drawing and the designs, and she developed that, and those stick pictures became clothes pictures, and what I'm seeing now, like I said, I'm blown away. So help them with that, and not just for themselves, but they're for their family and community. So I will have discussions, especially with my son, about the vision that I want to see for the household. because he lives with me. We live together, and I'm telling you, it's peaceful. It's so peaceful. We don't argue. We get on. We get upset with each other. We get vexed with each other, but there ain't no screaming, no shouting, none of that, because we discussed the family vision a long, long, long time ago. This house, my home, is a haven. I work with challenging families. So why would I want to come home and be challenged? That don't make sense to me. So I'm not for any of that. And I had that talk with my son. I also spoke to him, being that I am female on my own. He's 6'3", long before he turned 6'3", on how he's to come and address me. I said, you ever get upset, don't take one step towards me. You best turn round and walk back the other way. And so said and so done, because this is the vision for the family. When a colleague of mine must have mentioned at least a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, she said, Ruth, have you heard of parental abuse? I said, I don't know what that is. Because I don't think any family would visualize abuse from a child, to a parent. That would not be a plan that would work very well in this household, but I do know that it is happening in thousands of lives, in families' lives, and therefore I would be having this conversation with the family about what is your vision for your family. So I've got some comments coming through. So, you came up with the explanation. What is it? Alfie kept refusing to go to sleep and wouldn't listen to us, so I rang his nan. He didn't go to sleep until 9:30 p.m, but you had access, which is so good, Carol, to that connection, that family member who was able to give you the help and the support that you so desired. And I'm glad that you was able to reach out like that, because I know that you've also recently are recovering. So I'm glad you had the opportunity to pick up the phone and say, I need your support. Well done. That's a high five. Boom, boom, boom to you, Carol. And you know what? Call again if you need it, so that little Alfie can understand bedtime is bedtime. I might have even shared with you time that it took 70 times. It could have been more to put my daughter to bed, and I wanted to thump her, but I didn't. I called my brother, and my brother said, just keep being consistent, keep putting her to bed. And then she just got fed up. So let's go back, because we're running out of time. Oh, here, did I do number 6? Help your child plan goals to achieve his or her vision. Now we're not just thinking of the idea, now we're planning it. And it is similar to the whole story I was saying about my daughter wanting to be a fashion designer. It's like, how do we plan it? It's like you plan it by you writing it down. Like, I want to be a fashion designer. I am a fashion designer. And then you pick the subjects that supports your idea, your dream, your goal. And then you actually take the steps. You go through the classes, you do the textiles, you do the art classes, you improve, you practice, you get better and better. This is all in the planning. And your child or children can do this successfully and achieve their goals. And you can be like, really clapping them, praising them. This gives you an opportunity to have that time with them. So help them with that. Number 7. Oh, good evening, Sharon. Good evening. I see you there. Hey, hello. Lovely to see you. I'm at number 7 now. And it would be a little bit too much with 6 minutes to go over, but I know you can watch the replay, so I really thank you for your support. Number 7, it says, help your child understand that self-discipline and hard work is necessary. Now, self-discipline, that's kind of having it within you when to say things like, stop, no, I'm not going there, I'm not doing that. And because sometimes we're, as a parent, why did you do that? Why did you do that when I told you not to? So it's like they're not exercising what you're sharing with them, and they're not taking no responsibility for it either. And they're the ones doing the actions. So self-discipline helps your child to discipline themselves so that when friends come along, when they get older and say, oh, Johnny, come run down the alley with me, your child will be saying, no, I'm not going down the alleyway. Self-discipline kicks in and they're saying, I'm taking my home. Yeah, you can fill in the gap yourself, right? And last but not least is 8. Help your child reflect on the progress towards achieving his or her own goals. So it is like checking in, like how are you getting on with that? How are you getting on with things like that? Because if you think parenting just ends when your child turns 16 and schools end, no, it continues to the next phase of college. It continues to support them through university. It continues until they reach that goal. So you can have short-term goals for your children, how they're going to get through term to term, year to year, week to week, month to month. It's up to you. But sometimes you have to sit back and say, in the future, when I'm such and such, I want to be this and that. You get to choose. Your children get to choose what the careers they want. They get to choose how they're going to contribute positively to society. They get to choose. Why? Because it's their life. And as parents, we are there to help and guide them. We are not there to be their crutch forever and a day. We are there to help them pull up their own bootstraps. And when I hear this over and over again, especially in relationships from men to women, oh, we need your support for this and that. Well, no, your parents should have helped you to put those support things into place. Lord, have his mercy. Children. But anyway, so do you have any questions for me? Oh, thank you. I'm seeing lots of nice little things coming up, little images. And there's one from Sharon, there's one from Carol. So we've got, what, 2 minutes. Ladies, do you have any questions? On the blog post, if you've read it, you would have seen the activities, okay? When I wrote the blog post, I wrote with the child in mind first and then the adult. I had picked, if you see, there was 13 different activities, okay? And I had picked one, which was number 9. Number 9 says here, talk with your child about your dreams. So it's you, the parent, your dreams and ambitions for him or her, right? Being careful to also set his or her ambitions. How I did this is, because you can adapt it to how you want this for your own children and family. I started with the child in mind first. It's like, what is it that you want to do? My children have heard me talk about where I want to be and what I want to be doing because they've seen it. You know, you've got come to work days, they've seen it. My children have seen me working with lots and lots of young people. And my son was like, what do you do actually? That's like, what do you specifically do? Saying I do coaching is one thing, but actually explaining what coaching is different. Whereas my daughter, she saw it face to face because she was like my workshop assistant. And I remember her telling me one time, she said, Mom, she called me to one side while I'm in the classroom with the children. She said, Mom, why are you talking to them like you talk to me and Sion? I said, because this is who I am. And she goes, oh, because I thought you would have been a little bit more professional. I said, I am being professional. But she's like, but you're talking to them just the same way. You know, this is me. This is who I am. If I'm working with children, I'm working with them with good intentions for them to grow and succeed. And this is the same thing I'm doing with parents, because as a parent myself, I understand the struggles that it comes with it. But when you actually work on it and take the steps to create a better, brighter future for yourself first, you see, we're talking about the love for yourself first, and then extending it to the family, they benefit. When you're angry and caught up in your feelings, they don't benefit. But when you sort your stuff out and you're loving and you're really kind of working at your own goals, it will encourage them to work at their goals. So number 9, I switched it where I'm talking to them about their ambitions, where they want to be, what vision they want for their life. My son's like, I want to be an electrician. So what is he going to be doing? That's what he's picked for his course at school. Still waiting, like the other parents, for the exam results. But I am very confident that he will pass on his predicted grades, because that's what he was doing prior. And I'm telling you this, let this be a lesson for everyone so you don't ever get caught out. When you're in school, everything that you're doing is for you, not the teachers. You're not there to please the teachers. You're there to help create your own future. If you need the 4 and 5, work to the 4 and 5. If you want the 6 and 7, work to the 6 and 7. You want the 8 and 9, you work towards the 8 and 9. It means you do whatever it takes to get the grade you want. Don't start crying and complaining and saying it's the teacher, because I know I've worked there and seen that some of you don't put the effort in. And so if that happens to be the case, know that you have another opportunity, because I didn't leave with no results either, but I picked them up when I realised, oh, those 5 years weren't about them. It was about me. I had too much feelings, didn't like this teacher, didn't like that teacher, and weren't getting nowhere. What I needed to have done, and at the time didn't, was have more self-esteem for myself, that I was working towards my own goals, which back then weren't created. So at any point in time, you can start creating a vision for your life. You can be putting in what it is that you want for yourself and enjoy the life that you created. Yeah. So that's me. I've gone over 3 minutes, but it was 3 minutes that's worth it, because I get to talk to you, I get to communicate with you, and I get to share with you the personal rites of passage. Go check out the blog. It's there. Pick one of those activities and let me know. I've even put my email address so that you can even email me and tell me how you got on. If you're not going to leave comments in either my Liberty Coach page on Facebook, I've got the Liberty Coach that's streaming live here on YouTube, and I've got it on Instagram because I always post there as well. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all your birthday wishes. I'm feeling the love so much. Take care. God bless. And you know what? I'm actually going to be enjoying my birthday cake a day later because my daughter's making it now. Woohoo! So, thank you. And you know what? You guys are worth it. It's worth us having this conversation. It's worth us really taking the time out and this is why I love it, because even though this is 30 minutes, the actual course is 3 hours. I get to spend 3 hours, 3 quality hours of learning. This is just a snippet, but these nuggets are like boom, boom, because that's exactly what I want to happen, to scatter your thinking and your thoughts so you get the opportunity to put them in the order that you want them if things are not working out. You can take all the little nuggets that are going to help build what you've got already, because you are fantastic parents already. And if you're not saying that to yourself, you need to. You need to. You are fantastic parents. You're doing a good job, and you're bringing up the next generation, and they will become outstanding young people and outstanding adults. I love you. Take care. God bless. Ciao.